Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So, a few of my subscribers sent me this video right here. Honestly, it's like 4 days ago. I didn't even know this was a thing. Blake Griffin apparently went on JJ Redick's podcast, and this video is titled Blake Griffin on the misleading narrative that he didn't want to dunk in Detroit. So, I feel like at this point, pretty much both sides are just over it. Like, the Pistons got Cade. Blake Griffin's over on the Brooklyn Nets doing his thing over there. And, with that being said, though, obviously the story, especially from a Pistons fan standpoint, is still very interesting. And I want to hear what he has to say about it. So I figure I would react to it, man. Also, I'm noticing, one of them really just grinds my gears, man. Like, they're drinking this champagne. I never, I'm filling my glass all the way to the top. It reminds me, back in the day when I would, you go to, a friend's house for a sleepover, you eat dinner there or whatever, and their mom gives you, that much milk in a cup. What am I going to do with that much milk? I'm a thirsty boy! Not a big deal. Let's get to it and see what Blake's got to say.
I want to actually start with the basketball stuff. I want to start with last year, actually.
All right, let's do it.
And sort of the buyout.
Also, I hope JJ's not going to be biased here because I know they're former teammates. They actually be future teammates again, too, man. I'm going to hear about Brooklyn, right? Because he ain't signed yet, is he, JJ?
Out with Detroit, picking the Nets. That decision to sort of accept the buyout.
Yep.
And go to a contender. What all went into that?
Yes. Intrigue me.
So I think it might be easy. So last season, when the season started, Derek and I get there, and we've now traded away Andre Drummond the previous year, right before the bubble.
Yep.
Reggie Jackson buyout, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Got rid of Markieff Morris.
I could be wrong about this. I thought that Reggie was bought out after, but he might have been bought out before, like a month before. It was around the same time.
Got rid of our older guys. And so they put this team together, and we're kind of they're telling us we want to be competitive.
Yeah.
We want to but what are you going to say? And so they bring us in, I think the second or third day of training camp, and they're like, hey, we want you guys to be mentors to these guys. Which is, the writing's on the wall. And me and him are cool with that. That was totally fine. We had a lot of respect for Coach Casey and Arn Tellem over there, guys that we all know.
And, to go on that real quick here, I don't blame Blake Griffin for not wanting to be a mentor. Not everybody wants to do that. We always have, this thing that we associate that, the older you get, eventually you have to mentor the young guys. Not everybody's a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're old doesn't mean you got a lot to say or that you want to teach anything. And, Blake Griffin, he's not, old. I could see where he's well, I'm not, maybe, I just don't really want to do that. So I definitely do understand that perspective. That's not why he signed a contract, was to become a mentor, right? So, okay, I get that.
And, for Derek, it was a lot easier to get moved. And, I remember, shortly after that, he was
so funny, man. Bro, D-Rose said he wanted to stay, man. He said it, man, with his own mouth. He said, he said he wanted to stay in Detroit, okay? We did it out of, bro, I am all, glitchy here, man. I'm like the damn Matrix, bro. It's all good.
So I just kind of, stuck it out. I was, trying to be, a sort of a mentor to the young guys and accept my role. Not come in and, take, a bunch of shots and just be like that guy. They had averaged, a career low in shots. I think I was shooting 10 times a game. Wasn't playing that much. Also wasn't playing well at all.
Not at all.
And so when they finally came to me,
and that's the big thing, is that you were not playing well at all. And just by the sound of how you're talking right now, you were checked out already, which I think is what is the most upsetting thing about everything, is that you still was getting paid $60 million. Actually, I guess $60 million, $3 million a season. So I understand not liking your role. But when you're out there and simply just not trying, I think is the worst part. Because, yes, you did not play well, but then you went to the Nets and you were playing relatively well, all things considered. Not your all-star self. So I think that's the big issue, is that it was more so the lack of the effort, I think was the biggest thing. Because especially, we're trying to, because D Rose was playing well with the Pistons. So we were able to negotiate something and get him on a different team. Get some sort of value back for him. But when you don't try and you're in this phase of you don't want to be part of the team, and it's we got to find somebody to trade you with, but you're not trying, so therefore the only option is nobody's going to trade for you, then that's an issue. Now, with all fairness, I still don't think anybody was going to trade for you. That contract was way too big, and you were injury prone. So, yeah. It was definitely a weird situation.
Like, we're just going to accept this full tank in a way, or develop our young guys.
Was the right call.
I didn't put as much thought into it. I was just ready for like a new situation, and I also like felt bad in a way. Like I was out there every day like trying, but I just couldn't get my legs back under me after our training camp. Like, felt good going into it, couldn't get my legs back under me after training camp, and I kind of felt bad in a way. And I was like, you know what, this will probably be best for everybody. You know, give some money back. They get to do their thing. They get to play their young guys, and I thought it was like a good thing for both sides.
Did you, during that little break where kind of they announced that you'd be kind of sitting out, we're going to work on a buyout, you eventually sign with Brooklyn, you get a couple weeks, I think, before you played a game.
I got 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So you had like 2 months, two and a half months where you got to work on your body.
I had 9 weeks where I think, maybe not that. It was beginning of February, and I didn't play till 2 weeks after. Yeah, basically end of March. Yeah.
What I don't really get, and I hope gets explained in this within the next 2 minutes or whatever, is I don't understand the game that he played against Detroit. If all this was mutual and best for everybody, and it's like, I don't want to be a mentor, which is understandable, you get bought out, then what was with all the shit talking to the young Piston players? Like, that was just, like, I still remember watching that game, like, Blake Griffin did something, he turned around and started talking trash to the bench, guys that he really didn't play with. Because obviously the Pistons were going in more of a different direction. That just really was so weird at that time. I remember watching the game being like none of these young players have beef with you. If anything, you could have beef with the management, but that I was really confused about at the time.
Maybe 7 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went home. They said, we totally get it if you just want to work out. We're probably not going to play you that much. And I was like, if it's all the same, I'm just going to go concentrate on getting right. So I went back. Worked out.
It's fine.
Got to work out for like 6 weeks.
Rip
LA.
off the Band-Aid?
When I got to Brooklyn, worked out for like 2 weeks before they let me play a game there. And that was a huge, huge difference for me. Like when do you ever get 6 week break where you're not injured?
Right.
In the middle of the season to kind of get your legs back under you.
How,
that's fair, I suppose.
Like you were relishing once you got to Brooklyn and you started dunking. It seemed like you were really relishing
Trying to dunk.
Yeah, not just that, but like, well, I mean, you were hyper aware of the chatter on social about, there were some memes about you not dunking or dunking once with the Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like,
let's hear this.
It bothered me a little bit because
it bothered us too.
The stat was he hasn't dunked in 400 something days.
Right.
Sure.
You guys also weren't in the bubble, so.
Well, I also had surgery. In January, I played my last game for the Pistons before the bubble or before the pandemic hit, like December 20th or something like that, 28th of 19. I
think this is what's getting lost in translation, but on everything is that a lot of people were using the word dunk as a means of effort. Like, nobody cares if you don't dunk. As long as you're trying. And that at least for me, that was the issue. I mean, yes, the dunk was the meme. It was funny to say, oh, he hasn't dunked. But it wasn't so much that. It's the amount of effort you saw once he was on Brooklyn. Which, yes, I get it. He's feeling better again. He's playing with a contending team. I understand that mindset. But still, like, it just rubs me the wrong way that you can get paid this big, large contract, and at some point you can just stop trying or not giving your full effort. And I'm not saying he didn't give effort, but your full effort I don't think was ever given, all things considered. Because, I don't know, that season, his first season in Detroit where he was, or first full season, I should say, when he became, like, he had, like, his best statistical season. Even then, like, yeah, he would dunk and stuff, but that wasn't the big part of his game. It was shooting threes, handling the basketball, all that stuff. And it just seemed like all of that just went away at some point. It just disappeared. And I don't think injury is to fully blame for that.
2019. Yeah. And then we didn't go to the bubble. So then I didn't play again until December 24th of 2020.
Yeah, that was a stupid way to put it.
I haven't played in over a year.
Yeah, I get that. That's a stupid way to put it.
Games with the Pistons and didn't dunk. So that's like kind of what it just like that just pissed me off because it's just like you guys know the stat. You're just like choosing to be like, let's do days instead of games because games is still like, oh, he hasn't been to 19 games. Or we could do,
well, 19 games that season. I think it went back farther than that, but yeah, I get what he's saying with that. It was a petty way to put things.
Hear me out. We could do just straight days. And it's like, I don't know.
It is funny. It's like with you, it's like you haven't made a 3-pointer in this number of days. Like you can arbitrarily decide anything fits in that day.
Yeah. When's the last time you made a 3 in an NBA game?
Very funny.
I don't know. Maybe May 8th. I'll look up the stats.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all over with at this point. I'm not like full like Detroit Pistons fan in this case where I'm like, yeah, the Pistons did everything right. I feel like the fan base and everything did handle things a bit immaturely. I think Detroit as fans were very impatient, and we don't typically get big names that come here. So once it ends like that with a big name, especially with the package that we gave up to get him originally, which was a bad trade by the way, I don't know. It was just weird. And I think we could all kind of agree that Blake Griffin, nobody's really arguing what you did when you first came here. I think everybody respects you for that. You did try your hardest. You played with one leg against the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs. Just a weird way that things all ended. So it's over with now. I don't think I'll ever have to speak on this again. I don't think there will ever be a need to, unless some more light comes to surface. But that's my thoughts, man. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out.